So we are here at Joy Creek, and we're talking with Morris Horn, and he's going to give us some great information about epimediums.
Well, we're out in the middle of a rainstorm. This is one of the epimediums that we've cut back earlier in the season to promote the new growth. You can see the flower right here.
Yeah.
And all the new foliage is coming up. This particular form is Epimedium versicolor sulphureum. It's a nice yellow flowers.
So do you
yeah.
do you recommend that the homeowner cut back all the epimediums?
Yeah, this was pretty much partially evergreen throughout the winter, but the leaves don't look so good at the end of the season, and I usually cut them back because then you can see the flowers as they come up.
Okay.
The flowers are really attractive, and then the new foliage is really visible. This will turn beautiful, and one reason this versicolor cross is so popular is because of the young leaves have that nice variegated pattern on them, the bronzing.
Kind of that bronzing.
Yeah.
So not all epimediums have that?
Not all of them have that. You can see the bigger leaves. The earlier leaves to develop are right back here.
Oh, yeah.
They're a very nice cordate leaf.
So
right shaped.
You would consider this an evergreen epimedium?
I would consider it a semi-evergreen epimedium.
So this is a different variety.
It's exactly
the
same variety.
Just cut back at a different time.
Cut back at a different time.
Okay. Thank you, Barney.
But I think it's a good argument for wonderful spring foliage.
Yeah,
and when it's in full flower, it's spectacular. But the flowers are pretty much shot. It bloomed much earlier.
So it must bloom in February?
It blooms in February, late February, and early March. And not all of them are spreading. That's a ground cover form, but there are many that are just very tight and compact. For example, this is a little one called Epstein, who is one of the great gardeners on the East Coast. That is a cross. It's a brand new
step on the
cross called Sweetheart. You've probably heard of rubrum, Epimedium rubrum, which has the red edging along the leaf. This is a redo of the same cross. And they've gotten, I think this was done by a man named Darrell Probst on the East Coast. And
sweet.
You can really see the beautiful foliage.
Yeah. So this is a beautiful clump.
Yes. And I think that's just sulphureum again. What is neosulphureum. That's neosulphureum. You can see the flowers are a little different because it's sort of bicolored.
Really darling. They kind of look like little miniature daffodils.
Epimedium cubigerum.
Okay, so that flower is totally different.
This flower is totally different. It's kind of a
soft
pink and white.
Yeah. Now this is where you were telling me you planted these in full sun and they have a tendency to spread more.
Well, I want you to see this one here.
Oh my goodness.
This is as a result of growing it out in the full sun. And this is a really vigorous ground cover, Epimedium, what is it called? Pinnatum, subspecies culturicum. My mind is that.
So what's the culture that you recommend for the epimediums in general?
In general, I would recommend them in a part shade situation. They're really good to fill in some of those somewhat drier areas in a woodland garden, under trees and shrubs. I've even grown them successfully under dug firs with no problem.
Good, because that's kind of what I was hoping I was going to be able to do.
Yeah, and
so can you tell me how you choose which plants, epimediums, other selections to offer in your nursery? Are you looking for the more unusual?
Nowadays, I'm trying to get plants that have been the crosses that have been done by some friends, and some of the wonderful old Japanese cultivars and selections. I don't have a huge collection of epimediums in the garden. We probably only have 12 or 13 forms here, and there are hundreds. It was one we just called it Roseum, and Jungianum Roseum. That's Jungianum Roseum. So that's another cross.
And look at the beautiful little red flowers. Oh, darling.
They're a little late for them, but...
So they bloom about the same time as the hellebores, then?
Yeah.
Are people doing work on breeding?
Oh, there's a lot of breeding going on. Yeah. Daryl Probst, the man I talked about earlier that did that cross called Sweetheart, he's doing a lot of breeding. My friend Diana Reek is doing breeding and has done some great selections using Chinese species that she found.
What part of the country is she in?
She's just over in Battleground.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. Well, if you think that 1 4-inch plant is going to take too long to turn into a clump, you could buy some and grow them out in the sun and get them bulked up and then move them to your dry shade site. And you'd at least have a bigger plant as opposed to buying tons and tons of plants, because she didn't want to have to spend the money.